Stand by for a brand new episode of All Things Good and Nerdy.
Good morning, Internet people. Welcome to episode, 497 of the All Things Good and Nerdy podcast. It's recorded live on Sunday, September 4th, 2022. We had a hectic schedule here for a while. I apologize. I've been under the weather, so I would like to say I'm Chris, but thank you to my co-hosts, Willie and Bachman, last week for doing the show without me because I was not able to do so. It did take me a couple days to get it edited and put up online, but that show is available for you in the audio feed. Like I mentioned, I'm Chris. I am joined with the usual band of misfits. We'll start first with Mr. Anthony Bachman.
We are no longer the ducks in the stream yard. We are back in the Skype collective.
For now.
Fighting Windows.
For now.
And updates.
We're always fighting Windows updates because they're the devil. The devil.
The devil! The devil made me do it!
Now, some have also said that my other co-host, Mr. Willie D. Nelson's the devil. How do you respond to that?
Yes.
That was a lot of thought for that one word answer. I like it.
And I'm sorry, you seem to be mistaken here. Since we did such a great job, sorry, I think you're there. Nope, you're over. Nope, you keep switching. Since
catch him.
Since we did such a great job last week, so we're just gonna say, Chris, is all you. You know what my news of the week is. You go for it, man. I'll see you later.
Oh, he just has to read our news of the week. He has to do it all by himself.
Bachman, let's go.
You guys do know I've done the solo show before. It's not that daunting.
Mm-hmm.
I can do it.
He had his own solo.
I had my own solo podcast until I burnt out. Doing a one-off solo show with a couple weeks of rest is not going to kill me.
That's true.
What are you going to do if the ratings are better if it's me by myself?
That would be hilarious.
Celebrate. Hey, high tide raises all ship, baby.
I don't think that would hurt our feelings.
It hurt my.
I keep toying with the idea of going back and doing the solo show that I started once, but if I do it, I have to commit to doing 77 episodes for the first run, and so that's a lot of commitment.
So the advice I would give if you want to do a solo show, and if it's on something that doesn't rely on timeliness, i.e. not being like a television podcast show or something like that, where you're talking about something that's freshly aired, just get a shitload of them in the can, and then you can have a bunch of runway so that if life gets in the way and you've got like 3 weeks where you don't have any time to do anything, it doesn't matter because you could have pre-recorded, say, 10, 12 podcasts, so you've got a cushion there.
Yeah, the idea was to go between
Wheel of Fortune.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they film them in big blocks. Yeah, no, I keep thinking about doing a New Warriors one, and then doing like the first 20 episodes before I release the first one.
I mean,
it's daunting because
it's daunting as hell.
The first run is 75 issues, and the first 2 issues where the New Warriors showed up were actually in issues of the Incredible Hulk the Mighty Thor. So it'd be 2 issues of Thor, and then 75 issues straight of New Warriors Volume 1. Like, that's a lot of reading.
If you want to see me flounder as a solo podcaster, I guess this is as a solo talker. You can go watch my streams on Twitch. They're not good. You can ignore all the Jackbox ones because there's no voices in that because I'm playing with people in a party, and if I have my voices and their voices coming out, then it echoes for everybody else because they have to hear it twice. Once in the party, and then second through the stream.
Yeah, which is crappy.
Or if you want to see,
they got to figure out a way to fix that.
Or if you want to see Willie Nelson in a solo podcast, just watch the next 10 minutes because we're going on mute. The rest of us.
Fair enough. So what you do here is you want to reach around and grab right underneath. Take a good honking grip of the ball sack.
Okay, and now we're back because I was hoping he was about to swerve me into something else and he wasn't going where I thought he was going.
Big honking grip.
All right, I learned my lesson.
To get Chris back in control.
I learned my lesson.
I don't know why. You're going to learn your lesson today, old man.
Yeah, what did you think was going to happen? I thought he was actually reaching for the taint.
I was thinking that Reverend Willie would return in all honesty because that seems to be the go-to for annoying things to make me do stuff.
He wasn't speaking in tongues yet.
No, Steven is in the chat room, points out, and that's why we're ball buddies, bell buddies. You know what I meant.
Wait, so Willie and Steven are bell buddies, and then you and Steven are ball buddies? What is going on here?
It was a misspeak, I believe.
Oh, shit. It's back.
Willie's got the bell still.
Damn it. I was really
The
hoping it was
doctor.
I
gone.
like that you keep that right next to your couch for when we do a podcast.
Listen, on it says "Ring for a Kiss," Ocean Isle, NC. I would just do it, but there's no way you're gonna fucking read it. It's too shiny.
I'm not sure how anyone's going to be able to kiss you over the internet, Willie, but I hope you get some kisses for the rings that you just did.
I think it's now weirder that he keeps that next to his couch.
Well, hold on a second. If that's happening, let me see if I can do it with my balls.
No, stop.
Oh.
Now you made it gross.
I'm not a sexual predator. I'm just sexual.
I'm going to leave that one alone.
Everything with consent now.
Well,
Even while sleeping.
this took an odd turn, so I don't even know how to pivot out of it.
Oh, you
To the
can't
left,
pivot. Your foot's too
To the
injured.
left. To the
I
left.
can pivot to one direction, the other direction is painful. That's the problem.
But
with the
it's
foot.
always going to be in the wrong direction, and you know it is. That's how life works.
'Cause
Trust me,
Willie's
I know,
never
'cause
right.
it's been like it. So it's always going to be on your left, right?
Yeah,
Exactly.
that's why you're always on the left.
Left, right, left.
I have no idea what's going on, and I kind of love it.
A big honking grip of the ball.
Stop. Okay, I don't love that. I don't love that at all.
Tuck under and grip. You want to hear the weirdest thing I've ever heard before?
Not if it's about your ball sack.
It kind of is. No.
So then
Listen
no.
to this.
So then
This
no,
is the
we don't
weirdest
want to
thing.
hear it. No,
This
we
is
don't
the
want to hear it.
weirdest thing I've ever been told.
Uh,
You have the balls of a 20-year-old. I was like, what the fuck does that mean?
Willie, are you just trying to humble brag
What
on the
does
internet
that-
about?
No, I still don't know what it means. What does that mean? I looked at her, I was like, what the
well, for context, we would have to know when you were told that. Were you told that in junior high or last week?
When he was 29.
When he was 14.
No, that's wrong. That's wrong. No.
Bachman. You know the rules, and so do I. You never kiss and tells, my friend.
Oh dear.
What I appreciate about you.
Ooh. I even threw a little bit of Rick rolling in there, too.
Speaking of Rick, Rick and Morty season starts again tonight.
Yeah, but
Just
when's it going to be
saying,
able to fucking stream?
Yeah,
well,
when's it
it's
gonna be on my
HBO Max,
HBO?
so they'll probably fuck it up somehow because that's all that app does is F things up.
Yeah.
To be fair, I think Rick and Morty has always been a special case, so it's not really HBO fucking up. It's whoever's in control of
Well,
setting it to
it's
stream. is
Cartoon
fucking it up.
Network, which is owned by HBO / Warner Discovery,
Yeah.
but I don't think they put it on HBO Max until the season has run. It's not like a lot of other
Yeah.
shows.
Months. The last 2 seasons is how they work. 6 months. I'm like, what? The only way you watch it is if you have a cable subscription and you go online to Cartoon Network or AdultSwim.com. I forget which one. I don't even know if AdultSwim.com is a had
Didn't it
Just-
used to be on Hulu?
Oh yeah, it was. But that trust me, I was waiting for it, and it said, and I had to look it up because it's not there. Like it was just on last night. Why isn't that on Hulu now?
Yeah, because
Oh, 6 months. It's the only
was-
thing that does that.
well, it was weird because it was in like the middle of one of the seasons when they made that change too. Because I think for a while, it was like all the other a lot of the FX shows where it would show up the next day on Hulu. Because I think like mid-season they changed what they were doing. Because I swear, I think it was like season 4. I was watching it on Hulu, and then all of a sudden they're like, "No, now you have to wait till the whole season's done." And 6 months later, before we're going to drop the rest of the season.
I think they allowed the first episode to be like that for the season. Well, is this going to be season 6?
Yes, I believe so.
So season 4.
6 is what's coming.
So
yeah.
season 4 is like that's what they did. It was that first episode they let it be out first. Yeah, I think they even premiered it before it even came out on fucking Adult Swim. I don't even fucking know. But yeah, after that, 6 months.
Yeah, it's weird. Yeah, because now, I watch Rick and Morty now like I do Walking Dead. I wait for Walking Dead to show up as a full season on Netflix, and I watch the whole
Walking
thing.
Dead?
I just want to see what the hell they're going to do with the show. I mean, it's not half as good as the story was in the comics, and they can't even try to get as cool of an ending because, well, the ending that the whole show is based on in the comic books, that character's been dead now for 3 seasons, which is his frickin' story, and somehow they screwed that up.
I'm guessing Rick Grimes.
Yeah.
No, Carl.
Yeah.
The whole end of the Walking Dead is about whether or not Rick Grimes raised a son who's a psychopath. That's the whole point of the book.
Well, I
Is
mean, if
Carl's
he doesn't
being
turn into a
raised-
psychopath, I'd be surprised because look at
Well, no,
the
'cause-
world he has to grow up in.
That's the whole point. Is like Rick's trying to do everything he can to make sure his son doesn't become like Negan, basically.
Yeah.
He wants him to still be a good person, even though he grew up in the apocalypse. And the whole point of that story, when you get to the end of it and they jump forward like 15 years in the future and you read the last issue and it's Carl with a wife and a kid and you see like how the world is at this point, and you basically find out, is Carl a psychopath or did Rick raise a good kid? And like, that's the whole point of that comic. And it's amazingly well written, amazingly well told. The story is fantastic. The jump forward issue was amazing. It snuck up on everybody because they lied about the previews. They had 3 different covers set up for books that ended up not being real. And then he dropped the last issue when nobody knew it was coming. But yeah, in the frickin' show, Carl's been dead for like 2 years already. And they're just like, oh, we're just running around with the characters that are popular on the show just to see what we want to do with them. But it also doesn't help that I think Kirkman, who was the original producer, did Shawshank and
Frank Darabont, I think is what it was.
Darabont,
Darabont.
yeah. So Kirkman, Darabont,
Right.
and like all the other producers of like the first 4 years are still in a legal battle with AMC for not paying them what they're owed.
Ooh.
Because at one point, like it was the most watched show in cable history, and AMC was paying them the same amount they were paying like when the show started. And so yeah, they all sued them and left the show. So after that, you're not going to get as good of a show as you could when all your creators sue and leave. So yeah, I still watch it just to see. I want to see what they do with Durrell, because Durrell ain't got shit to do with the comic books. It's a character they created for the show.
Hey, Daryl's the main character, you know. But 2 things.
He is
here.
now.
2 things. First of all, in a zombie apocalypse setting, I mean, come on now. The best thing to be is chaotic neutral. Am I right?
No, it's not a bad idea.
Yeah, it's not
Lawful
terrible.
chaotic
good-
neutral. You're
lawful
not fucking
good's gonna
evil, but you're also not opposed to killing some motherfuckers.
Lawful Good's is going to get you killed.
Yeah. So yeah, you be chaotic neutral. That's the good way of being, because you always no one knows what you're gonna do. Chaotic neutral. You're on your toes. And what's the second thing? Second thing is what? Oh yeah, my favorite thing that from Walking Dead ever has to be that one meme of Grimes just coming up to his kid, Coral, hey Coral, and just says the stupidest joke ever, and just Coral's like, God damn it, Dad.
Damn it, Dad.
I fucking love that whole. I love that whole meme setup. I fucking eat it up all because it's spelled like coral, like the coral reef.
Uh-huh.
I fucking love it.
Well, I mean, Andrew Lincoln kind of went hard on those scenes. I mean, I'll give him that. The mom was dead. Carl had to like carve the baby out of her and then kill her. Like,
Man, what an odd situation that first season was. I mean, you thought your husband was dead, so you said, "Fuck it, fine. I'll fuck his best friend." Like, but then he comes back and like, "Oh fuck." It's like, what do you like? No one's really in the wrong there. We thought you were dead.
Yeah,
You know?
the better version though was in the book where the end of their fight is before they get to the farm, and Shane takes Rick out into the woods to murder him. And when they're fighting, they figured, like, they realize what's going to happen. Shane's about to gun Rick down to keep Carl and the wife, whose name I can't remember. And
Lori.
Carl's there, and he shoots him. And it's the first time that Carl shoots, a non-zombie. And, like, the end of the book, the original, like, 5-issue comic is Carl, like, crying in his dad's arms saying that it's different. Like, it's not the same. And Rick's like, yeah, it's not. You killed a person. And like
Jesus,
that's how
is that how you comfort someone?
Well, no, but he told him, he's like, it's not the same. It's not like killing a zombie. You killed a person. He killed him for the right reason. But yeah, it's crazy because then later on in the comic, when they realize that everybody who dies comes back, whether they were a zombie or not, when they realize that everybody's infected because it's just in the air. So when you die, even if you weren't bit, you still come back as a zombie. It's like 20 issues later on in the comic. Rick drives back to where they buried Shane, digs him up, and shoots him again. because he
Now,
owed his friend that to not leave him in the ground undead forever.
Was Shane? Okay, that makes sense. I was going to say, was he really that much of a dickhead in the comics?
No, because I mean, it's funny because it's like, oh, I'm gonna go dig my friend up and shoot him again because he's an asshole. But no, he actually did it because he didn't want to leave him there, struggling undead in the ground. Because I think Carl shot him in the heart, and so he didn't shoot him in the head. But yeah, I mean, it's it's one of those things. The oldest argument in the world: the book's better. No shit. Walking Dead's a good show, but it can't hold a fucking candle to what Robert Kirkman did with that comic book if you actually sit down and read the whole thing. It is amazing.
Now, you know what could have fixed that whole situation? Just become polyamorous, man. Just do that. Hey, it solves all answers, right?
In the comic, that's what Carol tried to do, was join Rick and his wife in a throuple. And then when they said no, she committed suicide by zombie in the prison.
Yeah,
The
Carol's in
comic
a
book version
very
of Carol
different state in the comics than what we had in the show.
Suicide by zombie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They had a zombie tied up on a post that they were experimenting on. She just walks up and lets it bite her. Suicide by zombie. Yeah, it was insane. And her character in the comic was like a self-pitying, worthless human that had no sense of self-worth. And yeah, then Andrea in the comic is the baddest bitch ever. Basically, the show just switched it to where Carol became Andrea.
I have a question.
Andrea's awesome.
Everyone's already infected, right? So why does when you get bit, you start dying then?
It's like the same difference of you caught the flu bug or someone with a really nasty case of the flu spits in your face.
I mean,
you're going to get that bug a heck of a lot stronger.
Yeah, but I mean, you already have the bug though in that scenario. But in this scenario, you already have it
dormant while you have a immune system
you're
to
alive.
basically keep
so,
it
but
in
the
check.
zombie bite just kills you
effectively
faster.
Yeah, it kills you faster and then you reanimate.
It's
I guess it's just like a stronger version.
One could argue
of it
it's such a concentration of that zombie whatever that it overwhelms your immune system and kills you.
And I remember hearing the story of how they actually got the show on AMC. I think this is just from memory, and I read this a long time ago, so please take it with a grain of salt. I think it's it's a better story than anything else I've heard. But so from what I heard, they weren't going to put them on. They weren't going to buy the show to put it out unless they give a reason why there's zombies there. They want a reason why there's zombies. So they said, "All right, well here, aliens caused it. That's what we're going to do." And they said, "All right, we'll greenlight it." And they're like, "We're not going to fucking make aliens. Fuck them. What the fuck? We're just going to make. No one knows. No one fucking knows shit."
Well, it's better that way. I mean, and who knows if it wasn't enforced in the contract. Then they can't really make them do it.
Well, plus hilarious. I think that's a callback to the comic where issue 50 you find out that the zombie plague was caused by an alien, like they dumped a spore on Earth or whatever to cause the zombies to start an alien invasion.
When did Walking Dead come out?
I mean, it started
the show or the comic?
The long damn time ago. I don't know. I don't know when it was released.
Post 2000s.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, it's after 2000 because it's after I was back in the Navy. So like maybe 2005.
October 2003 to July 2019 was the run of The Walking Dead.
South Park did that already. Remember the spaceship landed and then Kenny became a fucking zombie.
What I'm talking about is a joke issue that was 50 issues in where I think Rick Grimes gets sick and then basically passes out from a fever. And then you did the letters column, and then when you went to the next page, Ryan Otley, who at the time was drawing Invincible, drew like a 10-issue thing where Rick wakes up and has like a laser gun for a hand. There's an alien invasion, and Rick and Michonne and Tyrese and everybody are fighting aliens that started the zombie plague. And the whole joke was it was like the fever dream that Rick Grimes had was an alien invasion. So yeah, it was actually something they did in the comic.
Yeah.
And they brought it back as in the Image Plus comic. They did Rick Grimes 3000, where it's him and Negan and the rest of them fighting like alien invasion zombie plague. It's ridiculous, but yeah, it was hilarious.
Yeah, I mean the key is if they wanted to have that origin thing, it should have been written into the contract because contracts are more binding. Like one of the things that always made me laugh was like we all know Battlestar Galactica, the 2003 reboot. It's one of my favorite shows on TV. I love it. I'm rewatching it right now on Peacock actually. Edward James Olmos, who plays Commander Adama, so as not to spoil anyone, had told them. He goes, I am really interested in the show. He read the script. His family convinced him to do it. He goes, but here's the thing. The moment an alien shows up, I'm going to drop dead and pretend I had a heart attack, and you're going to have to write out William Adama. He goes, I'm not doing that. There will be no weird aliens or anything like that. And here they go, well, we had no plan on doing that, but he actually had it written into his contract that if they brought aliens onto the show, he could walk as soon as he heard it.
That kind of makes me lose respect for him, because you're an outer space show. The fuck you mean we run into fucking aliens?
The point was they didn't want to do a show that turned into, oh, aliens are responsible for everything. It's a show that was dealing with mankind and mankind's
and his characters, all about politics and the community of them trying to save the human race versus the alien, or not alien, but the evil technology that humans created. It's humans dealing with human problems.
His Bill Adama is incredibly well done. It still holds up to this day.
Here's an alien.
It kind of falls apart at the end of that series, but it's still one of my favorite shows of all time, and I really go back and enjoy watching it whenever I have the chance to. So if you get the chance, go watch it.
It's a good one.
You heard it from me. There's no aliens in the new Battlestar Galactica. The original one had aliens, I think.
Ooh.
I think that might have been part of it.
Watch the original then, because fuck the new one.
I don't know where you can find the original to watch, to be honest, from the 70s.
I'm just kidding. I'm not going to go look for it.
You should watch the original. It's pretty good. Okay, you don't have to. I'm just telling you, it's some of the best sci-fi that's been put out. Back when Sci-Fi Channel actually made sci-fi.
For you audio listeners, I mouthed the word no.
You can watch it for free on Tubby, apparently.
Hey! I'm only chubby, not tubby.
He's big boned, damn it.
You can watch it for free on Fat Ass. I mean, Tubby.
Oh, stepping back a sec, we were talking about the Rick and Morty stuff. Even if I wanted to, you can't log into Adult Swim with YouTube TV, or I'd offer you guys, I'd log you in to be able to watch it, which is crazy.
Oh, to be fair, I wouldn't do that either because I'm already logged in. My buddy put us on like a family plan for Google.
Nice.
That works.
And he gets YouTube Red, so I was like, YouTube?
No. This was, if you go to Adult Swim's website, you can log in with your cable provider credentials, and YouTube TV is not one of the options, sadly.
A fucking piece of shit. Is Hulu one?
I don't know if Hulu with live TV is. I didn't look, but they are.
I don't want to stream it through my fucking computer. I want to stream it on my fucking TV.
I saw in here, which was kind of interesting. They're doing like a 24/7 marathon of Rick and Morty on AdultSwim.com right now. So if you want to watch a bunch of the old episodes, there's just a marathon going on the website.
Just for like a live play or something, it just goes?
It just goes, it looks like.
Whatever. How about that Szechuan sauce, huh?
I never actually got a chance to try it.
I didn't want to. I didn't care enough.
I was curious. It sounded like it'd be a good sauce. It's different than...
I was alive when it came around the first time on Nuggets.
We all were alive.
We all were alive then.
Yeah, but I was actually out buying nuggets at that time.
I was having nuggets bought for me at that time.
Yeah. What's your point?
I'm old. That's my point. I remember the Szechuan sauce.
You're way too proud of being old.
I lived overseas when it happened, so I didn't get it at the Army
so did Bachman.
Air Force Base Burger Kings, sadly.
I don't know. Did you live overseas?
McDonald's.
Were you ever overseas during your time?
I never lived overseas.
Fair enough.
I did twice.
It seemed plausible, right?
Yeah. I was in the Navy. There's Navy bases all over the planet.
Like, just heads up, if you live in Belgium and you go to one of their burger joints that's not one of the Americanized ones and your burger tastes weird, or a French one, it's because it's not made out of beef.
Or do they make theirs out of cat?
No. Well, hold on a second. It's like Demolition Man. It's a good rat burger.
No. I learned this by accident because we were taking the ferry to cross over to England. We were in Calais and I got a burger and didn't think about it. It tasted weird because it's made of horse burger.
Oh, I mean,
horse has a weird taste. I didn't care for it. It could have also just been the weird sauce they put on the burger.
You know what? I really don't like. I don't like Angus.
Was it
beef.
horsey sauce?
I hate Angus beef.
Was it horsey sauce? No, I don't know what it was. I don't remember because this is 20 years ago when I had this. 21 years ago when I had this. So it's been a while.
Like, seriously, down with Angus beef burgers. You can go fuck off with that shit. It doesn't taste good.
I'm not allowed to eat beef anymore, so
you can still. Chris, I still eat beef. I just make sure I take my goddamn medicine. Oh, I try to make sure I take my goddamn medicine. I'm bad with that daily shit, man.
Get an app for your phone that reminds you to do it. That's what I do for
That wouldn't help me at all. I'm too lazy.
You're too lazy to acknowledge an alert on your phone that tells you to take your medicine.
Oh, I'll be like, oh, I'll do it in a second.
There is a
Forget
snooze
about
feature.
it already.
You can also just snooze it, which I've done before, which is I'm not ready to get up and I hit the snooze. Okay, never mind.
Then I'll be doing the same thing every 20 minutes.
I don't know what to tell you, Willie.
I know. I know. It's a problem I have. It's on me. I know that. I'm not blaming anyone else. I'm the fuck up, and I'm admitting it.
That's fair.
Clip that shit, Chris. Don't do it. I was just fucking.
I don't know where the clip button. Oh, there's the clip button. I got it, I think.
God damn it.
I got to remember to actually pull it out of the clip, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Hopefully you're lazy too.
I mean, that's entirely possible. Entirely. It's quite possible. But you know what else is possible?
No, I don't. What?
Talking about the news.
Oh.
Live from the ATGN studios on the internet, it's the news of the week.
Hey, it's the news of the week. It's that part of the show where we talk about what was in our minds some most interesting geeky and or nerdy news to have popped up here in the last week, 2 weeks, whatever period of time we decide because we've been off for a little bit. And we discuss it live on the air and give our well thought out, well founded criticisms and then make dumb jokes about it. I mean, I'm not wrong.
Well thought out.
Moderately well thought out. I don't know. We'll start with my news
All
story first because mine's relatively short, but it ties into a topic we've been talking about off and on for a while. But we talked about on this show that Microsoft would be acquiring Blizzard Activision, all the properties associated with it, like Diablo, Call of Duty, things like that. And as part of this acquisition, the deal is being reviewed by a variety of different regulatory agencies here in the United States and the EU and across the world so they can get signed off on. I think it's, a $68 billion deal, something like that. But one of the things that people had expressed concern about is that once Microsoft owns Blizzard Activision, they will then own Call of Duty. And while none of us are really big Call of Duty gamers on here, we do have to admit that Call of Duty is one of the big multi-platform titles that comes out either yearly or every other year, depending on the release model they're on, that gets a lot of hype and excitement behind it. Lots of people buy the game, play it online. In my younger days, I played a lot of Call of Duty, Modern Warfare, and Modern Warfare 2, things like that. And it was a spectacle. It was a lot of fun to get together with your friends, do that, and every year see the new maps. And I kind of got tired of it because my friends started playing other stuff, and Call of Duty's not really fun to play with randos because there's a bunch of idiots in there online. But regardless, Call of Duty's still one of the major franchises out there. And in the past, we've had Sony that had inked exclusive deals with Activision Blizzard for exclusive DLC for Call of Duty, which was always problematic to me, at least, because I don't like deals like that. Same with that whole Spider-Man for Marvel's Avengers game that they did that I don't think really amounted to much when it was all said and done. And real quick side note, Marvel's Avengers was on sale for $2 for like 2 weeks. I'm not sure that's a good sign.
Better side note, have you seen the mods from Spider-Man that's now on PC?
The Kermit
I
the
was
Frog one
about
is
to mention.
chef's kiss right there for that one.
The Kingpin
What are you
one
talking about?
Yeah.
is amazing, and the Shrek one was incredible.
I haven't seen the Shrek one.
Yeah, this is what did the running dive through video and then swinging out the window as Shrek.
Yeah,
It is so good.
The PC mods are fantastic for it. And
Yeah.
why I'm bringing this story up is because it gets into the current generation console war. And I air quoted that for people who are listening because I don't necessarily believe it's much of a war. It's just different products. And in fact, we actually have someone in the chat room, Random Rick Review, who had said, I don't think it will matter. They will sell it to both. There's no real war between consoles like in the Sega Gen versus SNES days. Fan bases
Plus,
of each console are pretty set.
You can't call it a war. You can't call it a war when I can walk into a store and buy an Xbox, and I can't walk into a
Sometimes.
store and buy a PlayStation.
It varies. But there was a lot of
Good.
concern why I'm bringing up Call of Duty because there are a lot of folks on the PlayStation side of the house that play Call of Duty. It's one of the games they like. We talked about how they've had timed DLC exclusives and DLC exclusives just for Sony on it before because there's a big percentage of people that play it. So there has been concern that Microsoft could say, as soon as we buy this, no, you no longer
It's
get Call of Duty.
ours.
Microsoft has said previously they intended to honor any pre-existing deals between Activision Blizzard and Sony. And in fact, there was recently a letter that was put out by Microsoft Gaming CEO and Xbox chief Phil Spencer, wrote a letter to PlayStation head Jim Ryan earlier this year saying that they have no intent to pull it. He said, quote, "In January, we provided a signed agreement to Sony to guarantee Call of Duty on PlayStation with feature and content parity for at least several more years beyond the current Sony contract, an offer that goes well beyond typical gaming industry agreements." Now, that didn't say permanently, it said additional years.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that it makes sense for them to even decide they weren't going to sell it on PlayStation, say 3 years from now, because they make a bunch of money off of it. Activision Blizzard. And I assume that Microsoft's plan is going to be to make it part of Game Pass on the Xbox side of the house. So they'll get part of the subscription cost there, and they'll be able to sell some PC copies unless they fold into PC Game Pass, and they'll be able to sell digital and physical copies to people that don't want Game Pass. But I would assume they would want that cash coming in. Now, bear in mind, none of us are experts on the industry or anything like that. I just don't think they're going to pull it entirely from PlayStation like some people seem worried about. And the regulators, in fact, are part of the reason why this is being brought up, is there's concern from regulators that Microsoft's going to control too much of the market and not necessarily have a monopoly, but potentially undue influence on the market because of all the studios that they own. I don't know that argument would hold weight if it had originally been an Xbox exclusive and they just bought the studio like we've seen Sony do with some Sony products, but neither here nor there. Granted, Activision Blizzard much bigger on scale than a lot of those studios that Sony had been buying.
Yeah, but owning Blizzard is a huge thing. Like, that's giant.
I mean, I guess the key thing here is that Microsoft hasn't guaranteed it indefinitely. They've just said beyond the existing deal, they'll cover it for more years.
Dude,
Random
take
Rick
it away
review
from
in the
Sony.
Random
I
Rick
don't
review in the
care.
chat room goes, "What? No Call of Duty on Switch?"
Well, did they ever put one on the Wii U?
I think so.
Because I know there was one on the Wii, and that was wonky.
Yeah, and you used the
It
motion
did have
controls, which
multiplayer,
was
though.
weird. It did.
Online multiplayer.
Now, Random Rick Review had an idea saying they can basically make a basic Call of Duty like normal, then pull some BS and give Xbox exclusive maps or something like that off the bat. I wouldn't be shocked if that happens. I mean, that's part of how you incentivize people to want to play on your platform. And remember, part of Microsoft's deal now too is they want you to get into their ecosystem, not necessarily into their hardware, because they've got all the stuff you can stream on the cloud now and play that way. And it's actually a pretty solid experience. I have to my left here, I have a MacBook Air, which obviously is not going to play Xbox games natively, but I've gone onto the cloud version and played Plague Innocence Lost, I think is what it is. I've played Far Cry 5. I've played a few other things via the cloud servers. I played Halo Infinite beta, multiplayer, and single player stuff on it. And other than some occasional glitches where things would slow down for a second, it was a pretty playable experience. So we're getting to the point now where Microsoft can be like, okay, Sony, we're not going to put a physical release out, but hey, we'll build an app so that Game Pass works on PlayStation if you want. Maybe that's the end result. Is a few years down the road, they say, just get the Game Pass app.
On PlayStation?
On PlayStation. Now, whether Sony would allow that's a completely different story. I somehow doubt that they would. But that would also hold water for, we were laughing at the Call of Duty on Switch idea. There's literally no reason why you couldn't put a Game Pass app on a Nintendo Switch, because it's basically running the same hardware as most Android tablets out there right now.
I mean, they already run fucking internet-based games anyway. Kingdom Hearts 3 was like that.
There was a couple
Control,
other ones too,
where you have to stream it. If you don't have internet access, you're fucked.
Yeah. So the precedent exists there, and you can already play these games on an iPad, an Android tablet, iOS phone, Android phone, stuff like that. And it runs pretty well so long as you have a decent internet connection. The problem is still going to be, what if I live out in the middle of nowhere and I have shitty internet? Well, then you're probably not going to be able to stream games.
Then you go play Boggle.
Yeah, stuff like that. I mean, they could put it on Stadia also, as Random Rick Reviews put in the chat room. So there are a few different possibilities there. I think there's a whole lot to do being made about nothing, because I don't really, personal opinion, I'm not an industry insider, I don't really see Microsoft pulling it 100% from PlayStation, because They make a crapload of money off of Call of Duty games.
Yeah,
Just
I mean, as
sell
long
it.
as they're still making money off of it, yeah, they're the only thing that would come up is if there's some other deal that they're trying to get through, and they want to use it for leverage against Sony. Because they'll be like, hey, we still got a Call of Duty on your system. We could pull that if you don't want to let us do this project over here, because then that gives them leverage against Sony or something. So,
And I guess we should say there is a precedent that has evolved where people can be legitimately concerned about this, because at one point in time, Bethesda's Starfield was going to be multi-platform. Microsoft bought them early enough in development that I don't think any deals had been signed or anything. So it was no, Starfield's Xbox exclusive now. Now, this instance here is there's existing deals for Call of Duty. And I think that if you're Sony, you would also be incentivized to be like, hey, we want to make sure 3 years down the road from now, if the deal's up or whenever it's up, I don't know when it is, that we can still get this game on our platform, and it becomes a negotiating thing. And maybe we see more stuff open up between the consoles. I don't know. I think it's a whole lot to do about nothing, but it is an interesting story point that is coming up a lot as these regulators start investigating the deal is, what is Microsoft going to do with Call of Duty? None of us care as much because none of us play Call of Duty. I can't remember the last. I think the last time I picked one up was $5 in the markdown bin at GameStop, and I played the single player and then traded it back in.
But you know what I do want to do that's kind of in a similar vein?
What's
I
that?
want to get an Xbox, and I want to get MLB The Show, just so I can start the Xbox, start the game up, so I can see the Sony logo on it.
It is entertaining. They did make
Yeah,
MLB The Show part of Game Pass for the last 2 years.
Oh, they did?
So yeah, they had a deal for it on Game Pass.
But it's not on the fucking... I have questions. I have so many fucking questions.
Because Microsoft paid for it to be part of Game Pass.
Yeah, but PlayStation, Sony, you have a Game Pass like thing now. Why is it not on there? Why is it not on there?
And to be fair, I don't remember if it is still part of that Game Pass or not. I know year one version no longer is, and I know that this year's version was on there at one point in time, but I don't remember if it still is, because I actually fired it up and played it on the cloud on my laptop over here because I was curious and wanted to play it. I learned that I can't play modern day baseball games because there's way too many weird button mechanics to try and figure out your pitches. And then, back in the day, if you're going to swing, it was you hit the swing button and you kind of moved your stick in the direction you kind of wanted to push it to. There's so many weird ways in which you have to hit the ball now. I'm like, I can't even hit the goddamn baseball in a baseball game. I'm out.
Oh, you think hitting the ball's weird? Try pitching in a game.
Right? Look,
that's the real.
What I want is a modern day reinvention of the game Base Wars from the Nintendo Entertainment System. That's what I want.
Original Nintendo or Super Nintendo?
Original Nintendo, I believe, was Base Wars. This was the game.
There was a robot one. That's Super Nintendo. What was Base Wars?
Base Wars. This was a game that was robots playing baseball in the future. And
I remember the version of that. It was like of course, robots playing sports.
Yeah.
It was Super Nintendo, but regular Nintendo.
Maybe it was Super Nintendo and I'm getting it wrong.
I'm going to look it up.
But the whole concept of it was
right.
You basically got a robot team and you could level up your pitching strength. You could level up your throwing strength, your running speed, stuff like that. But the fun thing about these was you could give your robots weapons. Because if you got stuck in a tag out situation and someone tagged you out, then your robots fought to see who would actually win.
Oh, I'm seeing that right now.
If you got tagged in the base path, then your robot who was the hitter would fight the second baseman. And then you could have laser guns, laser swords, stuff like that. And if you won...
You have HP in the fight.
Yeah, you have HP in the fight. And then if you won the fight, you then advanced to the base. And the second baseman would take damage and vice versa. If you lost the fight, you're thrown out, you would take damage and the second baseman would win. It was tons of fun. And you could supercharge your pitches. You hold down the A button and there'd be a sound as it charges up and charges down. So if you hit it at its max power, you'd have the fastest pitch. It was a great game, I believe, on the old Nintendo. My dad and I played
it is on the original Nintendo. I should have said that.
Yeah. Fantastic game. I want a modern version of Base Wars. That's the baseball I want because it's arcadey baseball. I don't have to worry about hitting 6 buttons the right way to throw a screwball on the corner of the strike zone to a batter.
You sound like an old man when you say that shit.
I wasn't intending to, but this is more like what I played in the day. I like arcade.
Go yell at your
sports
clouds,
games.
old man.
I just want the updated version of Mutant Football League.
More of my thought was
you do. They do have it.
They do.
God damn, what's it called? I have it. I actually have it.
I have it too.
Football League or something? What's it called? No, it's called something. I have it.
I do too, and I can't remember the name of it.
God. Fucking looking this up. Fuck
Yeah.
you, Bachman.
More my point was I want more arcade-like sports games, like NBA Jam kind of things, and like the NBA Streets and stuff like
Is
that.
it the shoes?
It's Mutant League Football.
That's it.
They already have a second one out too.
Yep.
I think the Blood Bowl. I think what's called.
Yeah, it's
Nice.
it. Blood Bowl. I have Blood Bowl.
Yeah, that's the second one, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
I
one's a
have it
fun
too.
game.
It's all right. It plays all right. They have it, Bachman. You can go get it on your PlayStation 4 right now.
I'll have to go look for it.
Go do it now.
You can buy that.
I'm still
shit
working
right
on
now.
Uncharted.
Go do it now.
Dealing with that stupid driving a jet ski up fucking
Get
hill.
to the second game, my man. Just put it on easy and go through it. Just get through this to get to the fun. This is fun too. I love the first one.
No,
Eddie
once I got
Rogers,
past that
best
bullshit
character.
part, I finally
Eddie
found
Rogers.
Sully. I found
Eddie
Sully. So
Raja. It's fucking great. I love him.
I found Sully again. So yeah, I'm getting closer to the end.
Oh, Sully's the best too.
Well, that wraps up my news, though, which kind of took us into a little side jag, as per the usual. I'm going to throw things over, because it's also gaming-related, things to Mr. Willie D. Nelson. What you got for us?
Oh, me.
That's you.
Oh,
Yeah, you.
So let's see if we can step away from the politics with this one. But,
Yes, there is a lot of controversy surrounding the game that Willie's about to talk about, but the topic with that game we're going to talk about is not about that controversy. Is
Oh,
that
not
the
at
best
all.
way to
But
put it?
I'll go ahead and say it. Fuck you. You know who I'm talking about. But you'll know who I'm talking about. So Harry Potter. Let's see. So Hogwarts Legacy is coming out. When is that the release date? Like, did it get pushed back to next year? I think.
Let me look while you're talking about it. I'll let you know.
Yeah, it is. But they gave confirmation. That's part of my news. That sadly, Quidditch will not be in the game at all.
It releases
Now-
in February 2023, by the way.
Okay, so they get pushed back.
Yeah.
Now I'm not sure if that means like Quidditch is not a thing, or if you just can't play. Like I wonder if they have like a field and everything. But you just can't play it. I wonder. Like it's not a playable game, mini game, or game within the game.
So
that's
some
neat.
background, they put an FAQ out where they said, quote, Quidditch is not playable in Hogwarts Legacy. However, broom flight for traversal and broom race challenges are part of the game. Players will also fly up brooms to explore new and familiar locations surrounding Hogwarts.
So
I'm
they're
gonna let you
building the
guys-
flight mechanic, but not giving you the game that the
Yeah,
flight mechanic is used for in the world. Yeah, that's piss
That's
poor.
whatever. It's whatever, man. Who cares? Like it seems like there's a lot of shit already in this game, so I can understand that point. But and plus, Quidditch is a bullshit game anyway. Am I right?
Yeah, very much. Oh, they also announced there's a
Snitch is the
PlayStation
only thing that
exclusive quest
matters.
for Hogwarts Legacy.
I mean, Jesus Christ, are we going back to the mid 2000 or like the late 2000s? We're like, ooh, exclusive for the PS3, the sabotage level,
That's what it sounds
or
like.
in the game, the sabotage.
Mhm.
It's like, what the fuck? Why are we doing this? This is dumb. Let's not do this. Let's get away from that. Have the game be the game on whatever game you game on. Right?
Game.
Yes.
Game.
Call your Gan. She deserves it.
They did announce also that release date I told you is for all systems except the Nintendo Switch, which has a still to be determined release date.
I don't. What?
Because, like Willie said, Nintendo don't.
Exact. Nintendo! I hope that echoed perfectly for the mic when I was going away from the mic, so it just echo better.
Thank you.
But yeah, I mean, come on, Quidditch is a bunch of bullshit, is it not? The only thing that really matters is the snitch. Nothing else matters. Why everyone isn't following the snitch, I don't understand, because that's the only thing that matters.
Yes and no. You can score enough points to overcome the value of the snitch.
Yeah.
But if you get the snitch, the game's over and you just win.
No, the game is over and you get 150 points added to your total, and then whoever's the highest score wins.
So if your whole team just goes after it, and you're more likely to get it, like a lot more likely to get it. Like, why not just do that?
Yep.
Because
If
the
your
other team
whole
could
team is
score
doing it, the other
15
team would be
goals
throwing-
in that time.
Yeah.
So why are both teams just trying to get the snitch just to win? Like that's the key.
Because
Who
that's
cares?
not how
Like-
the game is played.
Listen. I'm going to say this woman doesn't know what the fuck she's writing about.
Well, I mean,
I'm saying you can pull your goalie if you want and have more people on offense, but not everybody pulls their goalie every game.
and I
That's
don't.
fair.
I'm semi thinking that the rules say only the chaser, not the chaser, the seeker can go
Seeker.
after the snitch.
So if anyone, so if the snitch just like if you're just flying around and the snitch just crosses your path and boom,
You're not allowed to. You can't catch it.
Hey!
Nothing happens, is my understanding. You have to
that's
be the seeker.
bullshit. These wizards are a bunch of asshats.
Well, yeah, they created 2 of the balls in the game try to kill you, and
Yeah.
that's why 2 of the people have to actually beat them off with sticks.
I'm sorry. Do you want to rephrase that?
No, they're called the
They're
beaters.
called beaters. That's the name of the
Yeah.
position.
Oh, I thought they were called fluffers.
No, they're called bludgeoners. They beat off your sticks.
And just remember, write your hate mail because I'm talking about underage fictional wizards. Who the fuck cares?
I'm still not 100% sure this game is actually coming out. I'll be honest, because it keeps getting pushed back. And then
It does look good.
Oh wait, isn't Warner Brothers involved?
To
So
be
yeah,
fair,
count on
yeah.
nothing.
But to be fair, Chris, a lot of shit got pushed back this year. A lot
that's
of
fair.
shit.
That's fair.
Marvel's Midnight Suns. I've been waiting like a fuck on that. It's supposed to come back in March. It was supposed to already be out.
How do
I'll
you
be
wait
done
like
with
a
it.
fuck? I'm confused.
Look at Willie. He's doing it right now.
Do you see how anxious I am when I talk about Marvel's Midnight Suns? See
No.
that? You see it.
No, I don't
it.
see
You
the
start
anxiety.
You don't see it. You need to start seeing it. Open your eyes, my man.
Are you channeling Nick Cage right now?
I'm not trying to. It just comes out naturally, baby.
Yeah, he was.
He's going full Cage.
I wasn't. No, that was not intentional. That was just me being me.
That pillow's affecting you.
Oh, here, I got it. I got you. I mean, this pillow. Yeah. Let's give him a nosebleed.
Oh.
One of my
Yeah.
friends, his wife, like hates Nick Cage. Almost has like almost a phobia of him. And people send her random gifts that is Nick Cage, one of which was that pillow. She's like, "Oh, this is a nice pillow." And then she swiped it. It was Nick Cage's face, and I guess she freaked out.
And if that's not your whole deal, I got this one, which is not as good because you can't really see it. Which way is the right way?
Is it Jar
That's
Jar?
the right way. Oh, no, it's Nick Cage as well, just from Face Off.
It's the
I'm gonna
screaming
take his
priest,
His
right?
face.
Yeah, I believe
Oh.
that's when he's grabbing an underage choir girl's ass, I believe.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. There's no way you can't tell me she's underage. There's not a chance in hell.
Yeah.
Although
That was
it was
the whole point of
90s.
that scene.
It was also a
Yeah.
character probably played by someone who wasn't underage. So it's I don't know how to. I don't know, man. It's a fucking weird ass movie. Wasn't it? That was who? John Woo? No, that was Mission Impossible 2. Who did
No,
Face
Face Off was John Woo.
It was
Yeah,
John
it
Woo.
was John Woo.
Yeah, that's why. That's why there were all those
Doves.
dubs flying during all the gunfights.
I couldn't remember if the doves were in there. I was probably mixing it because they came around the same time, right? Face Off and Mission Impossible 2. Didn't they come around
Mission
the same
Impossible 2 was in
time?
the 2000s. Face Off was in the 90s, wasn't it?
I think Mission Impossible 2 was like what? Like 2000, 2001? Face Off was what? 99, 98?
97 for Face Off.
Yeah, I was thinking about 97. I was thinking about it because I was looking at it. I was like,
Mission Impossible 2 was 2000.
Oh, 3 fucking years. Oh, what
Different
did you
decade.
do?
Yeah.
Hey, Mission
Sure.
Impossible 2 is responsible for us getting Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, so we should always be thankful.
Yep. Because otherwise it would have been Doug Ray Scott.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, because he had to go do Mission Impossible?
Doug Ray Scott
No,
had to
'cause
do
he-
Mission Impossible.
No,
I have no
while
idea who
doing
Doug
Mission
Ray Scott
Impossible, he
is.
dislocated his shoulder in the motorcycle scene. Otherwise, he would have been able to go and film Wolverine.
Okay.
'Cause, yeah, he was hired. He was under contract, and then he got injured doing that stunt in Mission Impossible 2, and that's when he called Bryan Singer and said, "I can't come do the movie because I won't be able to do the physicality that's involved in playing a character, so my shoulder's jacked up."
That's why Hugh
Yeah.
Jackman's chops kind of change appearance throughout the movie, because near the end of
He
filming, he'd actually
Yeah.
grown them out versus having to use makeup and special effects for it.
How come
Yep.
how come hiring Hugh Jackman wasn't cultural appropriation when they hired him to be Wolverine? That's cultural appropriation, right?
So appropriating Canadian culture?
Yeah, Wolverine, Canadian. Hugh Jackman, not Canadian. From a whole different continent.
Well, in that case, then hiring Hugh Laurie to play Dr. House is cultural appropriation. then, too.
Exactly.
I'm not sure this is a hill you want to die on, because there's
they never show-
fuck.
No, I know why it doesn't count. In the movies, you never see Wolverine eat any Tim Hortons.
Oh,
no Timmys.
well,
He never
to be
has
fair,
any Timmys. And he never has any gravy fries. What the hell is it called?
Poutine.
He never has any poutine, so therefore it's not cultural appropriation.
Yeah, can't Wolverine eat like the Blob and still just be fine?
Supposedly.
I mean, you would think with the healing thing, it would be metabolism too, right? You would think.
I don't know.
Supposedly.
I mean, I assume he burns calories healing himself because the energy to do that has to come from somewhere.
Does it now? Maybe
assume.
mutants break thermodynamics.
And his muscle mass is moving around a 600-pound skeleton all day.
That's true too.
It's not easy to do.
I'm sorry, 600 pounds.
Yeah, Wolverine supposedly weighs 600 pounds. His bones are laced with the heaviest metal on Earth.
Yeah, but
that's why he can't swim.
That's
if you really want to get rid of Wolverine in a fight, you toss him in the ocean.
That's why
He'll get out eventually.
When Magneto ripped the adamantium from him, is why he was stronger than the normal person.
Are we really...
He also went feral, but
so Magneto is a master of magnetism, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Why? I don't think adamantium would be what's the terminology for ferrokinetic or something? What is it called? When something can be affected by magnets? I don't think it.
Yeah.
Because not all metals can magnets work on them.
It always has been.
It's only a small percentage. Like,
yeah,
what are we doing here?
When you make up a metal, then you determine whether or not that metal can be affected by magnetism. And in the world of the X-Men, Colossus's skin and Wolverine's skeleton can both be affected by Magneto.
The organic metal? Are you fucking kidding me?
Organic steel. It's magnetic.
So he could just, it'd be hilarious if he just like ships down and he's still a big ass fucking Russian. He goes, "Oh yeah, boom."
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Punch. I got muscles. I forgot. It's fucking hilarious. Oh my god. No metal now, bitch.
Let's move on to the next story.
All right.
What do you got for us, Bachman?
So, according to Slash Films, with these last 2 weekends, it's been the battle of the fantasy worlds, and the Rings of Power premiere draws 25 million viewers worldwide in the first 24 hours, according to Amazon. So, this is a Slash Film article from Ben Severo from the 3rd. So, what, yesterday? Yeah, so yesterday. So, they put up... They got the Prime Video highly anticipated Middle-earth series, The Lord of the Rings of Power, has reportedly earned epic viewership numbers in its debut on Amazon. Variety reports that, according to Amazon, and like they have to keep putting that, and you'll find out why, the big-budget J.R. Tolkien adaptation is viewed by 25 million viewers globally during the first 24 hours. The episodes 1 and 2 were available in 240 countries and territories on September 1st and 2nd, depending on which of those countries and territories you're in. It's worth noting a few caveats, though. First, is the first time ever Amazon has shared internal TV ratings publicly, because we all know streaming services haven't done it. Secondly, the company doesn't give a clear definition of what counts as a view. So since the criteria for streaming viewership numbers are determined by the company that owns the streamer, unlike traditional viewing numbers reported by third-party firm Nielsen, it's unclear exactly how those 25 million views have been counted. And this doesn't just apply to Amazon either, because as we know with Netflix, same thing. If someone watches a minute of a show or 45 minutes of a show, the streamer can determine which one of those counts as a view and can say that they both count, even if they didn't watch the whole thing. So it says so Ring of Power is being touted as breaking all previous records, marking the biggest premiere in the history of Prime Video, which of course, probably true. Has not determined how Amazon has not disclosed how it determines what counts as a view. In other words, how many episodes does a viewer need for it to be counted? Let's see, what was it? Streaming services, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, for example, when Disney shared that it has more total streaming subscriptions than Netflix, in the figure that they counted the Disney bundle, which includes Disney Plus, Hulu, and ESPN, as 3 separate subscriptions. So, you move your numbers around to make it to where every truck that's selling is the number 1 truck in its category, according to your company, because basically every truck is in a different category all by itself, and that's how they're all the number 1 selling truck in America. But, you move the numbers around to work for your company. It says, regardless of the actual numbers, hard to deny that a lot of people are watching the show. There's most definitely welcome news for Amazon, which reportedly spent $465 million for the first season of the fantasy series, with a second season already in the works. It's worth noting that since $250 million of that initial number was spent solely on the rights to adapt J.R. Tolkien's work, the price tag for for season 2 won't be quite as steep. So $250 million just for the ability to make the show, and then they're dropping millions and millions on each and every episode. Let's see here, and then they talked about the comparison. Warner Brothers Discovery is also riding this particular wave of fantastical fiction, which has with much success, since current hot topic among TV viewers is the Targaryen-focused Game of Thrones prequel, House of the Dragon. HBO and HBO Max revealed that show pulled in 10.2 million viewers for the second episode and is up to nearly 25 million viewers for the premiere. So, if Amazon Prime's big-budget fantasy show actually pulled in HBO's viewership from 2 weeks in just one day, that's definitely quite an achievement. Though keep in mind that Rings of Power figures encompass 240 countries, whereas HBO Max is only available in a handful of regions outside the U.S. Let's see. Regardless, until streaming figures are regulated and reported by parties not affiliated with the streamers themselves, it's difficult to fully get behind the accuracy of reports like this. Yeah, so Amazon's basically saying that, everybody watched, the Rings of Power. And I'll be honest, I did watch both. We watched the first 2 episodes of the Rings of Power, and me and Jana watched the first 2 episodes of Game of Thrones. And I don't know, have you watched either of them, Willie?
No.
So they're both really good. The weird thing is that honestly, the Game of Thrones one is so far a much better story. Lord of the Rings, 2 episodes in, it's strange because it's a whole lot of world building, which you wouldn't think you would need so much of if we're already in the world of Tolkien. And it doesn't really feel like much has happened. And so it's very strange because it looks pretty. It looks pretty as hell. All the Lord of the Rings episodes so far, they look like each episode cost $20 million.
I do have a question.
They look the price tag.
Where does the Rings of Power take place in the after Lord of the Rings?
No, before.
Prequel.
So this is the prequel
For
where
Hobbit?
the ring way before the Hobbit. So this is when the rings are originally made. So the one ring to rule them all, plus like the rings for the dwarves, the rings for the elves, and the rings for the humans. This is the story leading up to when the rings were created.
And what do the rings do again?
I don't know.
Does anybody know?
It's supposed to make
Just
you a
generic
badass
power.
or something. But then, there's the one ring to rule them all, which was the Billy Badass
Green
ring.
Lantern. You become
Yeah.
Green Lantern, right?
Oh, you become Gold Lantern or something. Who knows? But yeah, I mean, having watched them both, like it's weird because they're supposedly spending like $20-30 million per episode, and after having watched 2 episodes of the new Game of Thrones, it seems like much more has happened in that show than has happened over the same amount of episodes in Lord of the Rings. And then Game of Thrones still looks maybe not as pretty, but it's also darker. It's a darker tone. It always has been. Like, it's kind of the grim and gritty fantasy world, whereas Lord of the Rings is really pretty. It's really bright and shiny elf stuff. I don't know.
It's hour long?
Roughly. Yeah.
Okay, well, you're right around there. I mean,
Yeah,
you're
2
like,
episodes
one's
in.
not half hour, and one's like, an hour. That's what I meant.
I'm much more digging, Matt Smith's the Targaryen,
Targaryen.
Targaryen that he's playing.
Targaryen.
Like, Matt Smith looks like a badass in his white wig. Like, the actors are kind of, they've got some good stuff already with some fights, and then, some good dragon shots. I don't know, so far, Amazon's putting up huge numbers. They're saying a ton of people are watching it. I just wonder how many people are actually enjoying it, because so far it's kind of boring. Like, it's a really pretty show, but 2 episodes in, it still doesn't feel like anything's happened. And that's just, it's disappointing.
It's like they
haven't
just
made the
built
rings
the
yet?
show based off of a name because people would watch it without much thought as to what they're going to do with it.
Yeah. Have you watched either of them, Chris?
No, fantasy stuff like that doesn't really do much for me. My wife was a big Game of Thrones fan. She felt pretty burned by the ending, so she already said she's waiting until this season comes out before she decides whether to watch it. She'll probably watch the Lord of the Rings stuff, though. She loves those books.
Free folk don't forget.
I'm sorry?
Oh my! Free folk don't forget. If you get it, you get it. You don't, Chris.
I don't get it. Okay.
Mance Ryder was right.
Oh, God. Settle down.
Mance Ryder.
But yeah, I don't know. supposedly, it's pulling in huge numbers, but I don't know. From what I've seen so far, I have a feeling that, those Amazon numbers, no matter how they count them, are not going to stay there. Because, what feedback I saw on Twitter is that people that have watched it have been like, that was a show. Like, you have a couple of, you have I think 2 characters that are from the original, like, movies that people saw, because they're the 2 of the elves, much younger. You have Galadriel and Eldron, because the younger version of those elves, 1,000 years previous, they're still like teenagers, or they're in their 20s or whatever. Couple of cool fight scenes, but it's just kind of boring.
That's fair. I've never really, like I said, I watched Lord of the Rings movies when they came out because that was a thing at the time, but I didn't love them like a lot of my friends did. I watched them once. I was like, okay, that's cool. And then I've got other friends that like, oh, I'm bored this weekend. I don't know what to do. I'm going to watch Lord of the Rings, which I'm like with other properties, so I'm not throwing stones. It's just not a property that really resonates with me.
Man, I don't even do that with other series. No, it's weird.
Some people have their comfort
movies.
shows,
I
man.
fucking love movies, and I'm not going to sit a whole fucking day watching a whole series.
But so I guess let me rephrase. It's more like a comfort thing, which is, hey, I'm staying home to work on a bunch of stuff, and my go-to is to throw, say, Lord of the Rings on in the background while I work on things, because that's a movie that they like a lot, comfortable with, things like that. It's a creature comfort kind of thing.
Oh, I'm picturing them sitting there, and they're not doing anything else. That's their day.
Well, that wasn't my intent of what to...
No. It's like when I put on Scream 1, 2, and 3. Just nice background noise.
People get murdered. Nice,
especially all those
noise.
Screams.
I used to fall asleep to those movies. Those used to be my Papa
I'm not
movie
sure what that says about you.
Yeah, but just it's nice to hear people getting killed in the background, right?
When you've watched, when you've watched a movie a couple hundred times and you're used to every quote in it, it's comforting. The last one I did that to the most of was Cabin in the Woods. So good.
Movies don't create psychos. Movies make psychos more creative.
Damn right.
Yeah, I got this stuck in my head.
Mm-hmm.
Think I'm that dumb? No. Well, yeah, but no.
Yeah, I don't know. We've been watching both, and we'll probably continue to watch both. But so far we're both way more entertained by the Game of Thrones show. It has a very solid storyline. It knows exactly where it's going, and the characters are really well thought out. Plus, it's kind of cool to see. I can't think of the actor's name, but he was the Saint of Killers and Preacher, and he's one of the King's Guard. And so seeing that dude with his gray beard all trimmed up, standing there in giant silver body armor, just looking like a straight paladin ready to take on the world. It's kind of cool to see that old dude just looking like a badass knight. He looks awesome in Game of Thrones.
Looks like he's a space hunk from fucking StarCraft.
Yeah, he's just big. He's just big as hell.
Yeah, I put that mental image in your head. The big, bulky fucking armor, little tiny head.
But of the two, I'm watching both of them. But the new one, if I was gonna give up one show right now, it would definitely be the Lord of the Rings, because the House of the Dragon right now has been much more interesting.
I just want to know when Bryan Danielson's going to show up in it.
I don't know.
The wrestler?
Yeah, he's the American Dragon.
He's the American Dragon.
I thought it was Jake Long.
No, Bryan Danielson's the American Dragon.
Long. There was a cartoon show. I never watched it. I just know it was Jake Long, American Dragon.
It's Bryan Danielson.
And I'm pretty sure that show came out way before he was used that name.
When did that show come out? Danielson's been using that name
early
since
2000s.
The actor I'm talking about, for those that, if you're wondering, it's Graham McTavish. That dude is awesome.
Cat.
Yeah, he
can't play with this while I'm on
He
air.
was like a preacher in the last season of Lucifer. And he's been in a ton of stuff. Yeah, he's now Sir Harold Westerling. And that dude in a giant, set of armor is just imposing as hell.
And if I remember correctly, a Sir spelled S-E-R.
Yep.
I don't know why there's a distinction, but there is.
It's going to be pretty close when he started using American Dragon, because it was right after he debuted, which was in 1999.
Going back to this, what?
Chris,
it was a joke. It was just a dumb joke, man. I didn't mean anything by it.
Too bad. You got him started talking wrestling. Now you're in trouble. Now it's
I looked
AEW
up
talk
Jake
for half
Long,
an hour.
American Dragon. I watch it not even be called American Dragon. Watch it be called something different. Fucking stupid.
I can't
Yeah,
remember
he
what the
was-
hell that show was.
When he was part of Memphis Championship Wrestling and being trained by William Regal, he adopted the well-known moniker American Dragon, which was in 2000, I think. So he's been
It
the
was called
American-
American Dragon, Jake Long was the name of the show.
Oh, yay!
And Jake
Memory.
Long was voiced by Dante Bosco. Rufy. Oh!
Oh.
Shit!
Nice.
Yep.
Look at this. See, I'm fucking big brain in here, baby.
Yeah, because
I don't know what
he was a martial arts kid that turned into a dragon. I remember that show. It's pretty cool.
This was on
Yeah, I
Kids
remember
WB, wasn't it?
I thought it was a Disney one,
Sounds
I think.
right.
I think it was an ABC one.
I thought they
think.
paired it with Jackie Chan Adventures on Kids WB.
Oh, you're probably right. I think you're
Mhm.
right. Yeah, you're probably right. Yeah.
They may have
It
even
looks
crossed
like
them
it
over
is-
at one point.
So,
It
so
is
I have a
now
friend
on
on
Disney
PlayStation.
Plus. So yeah, it either was a Disney property produced by Walt Disney Television Animation.
So I have a friend I play games with on the PlayStation. Their name is Jackie Meow, and every time I always have to say Jackie. Just like Uncle, Jackie. Fucking love that show. Fucking love this show. And yeah,
Here's a cat for you.
my cat's fucking around somewhere. Oh, she's looking under the bed for something.
This one's fat and mad.
Mine's getting fat.
Jackie Chan Adventures was one of the best shows ever created. That the premise just makes no sense. We're just gonna make Jackie Chan a cartoon star.
I mean, he basically does things that only a
magical
cartoon
little
can do.
Talismans.
Yeah, in real life.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Magical talismans.
it was such a weird show, but it was so good. The animation, the voice casting, that whole show is just extremely well made.
Wasn't it, though?
That was awesome.
And also had a little intro and outro by Jackie Chan, or at least an outro. I don't know about an intro, but I think but a little outro where he's
I think
actually
he did the outros. Yeah.
Yeah. That was a
Yeah.
trip down
Plus,
memory lane.
Jackie Chan's he's just awesome.
Ain't
God,
that
how
That
is
was
that
my
man
news
not,
of the
not
week.
broken to
Jackie
dust by
Chan is
now?
awesome.
beats me? Some people bounce back better than others. That said, it is time for us to start wrapping this show up. How we do that is a final segment, a bit called What I'm Into. It's where we share with you guys watching live or viewing at a later date the geeky and nerdy things we didn't get into, because, hey, you may want to go check them out yourselves. I'll kick things off because the list is pretty short, but one of them I did want to talk about a lot, which is, we'll get to the one I want to talk about a lot at the end of it, but I've been getting caught up on my professional wrestling. I actually sat down and watched part of a WWE pay-per-view, premium live event on Peacock yesterday afternoon because they were doing it in the UK, so it started at 1 p.m. Eastern. I was like, oh, wow. I don't have to stay up till midnight to watch this. Like, I'll be staying up to midnight tonight for a
Which
pay-per-view.
Money in the Bank pay-per-view is this?
This was Clash at the Castle is what it was called.
Castle
Do they really
McCulloch? That's
have
right down the road from me.
Premium live event every 2 weeks now. How many have they invented?
Well, I mean, for WWE, it's basically their pay-per-views are now called premium live events. You can still buy them pay-per-view, I think, but why bother if you can get Peacock and just watch it on that?
Yeah.
Or WWE Network in the past. But I will also be watching tonight AEW All Out, starting at
All
8
Out.
p.m. is the pay-per-view. Sadly, I have to watch it on the shitty Bleacher Report app, which is terrible. Hopefully it works like it's supposed to tonight. I don't know if I'll watch the pre-show tonight, just because if I watch the pre-show, that's 15 matches in a 5-hour span, and that might just be too much for me right now. So I may watch the free pre-show on YouTube tomorrow as part of my
Hey.
Labor Day activities.
Hey, Chris.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Did you listen to last week's episode we did?
Not all of it.
No, yeah, my buddy went to West Virginia for when they were recording
they're in
3 of their
Charleston?
episodes. Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think Charleston though. I think South Carolina because Charleston, South Carolina, man.
Well, we have a Charleston and a Charlestown in West Virginia, so it's really fun.
I fucking hate West Virginia with a goddamn passion.
I did
All
not.
you inbred hicks can go fuck off.
I did not go down to Charleston for the AEW tapings and live show because that's about a 3-hour drive, 2.5 hour, 3-hour drive.
You drove from North Carolina.
I also
Although
my right foot was,
was
busted.
it was a bachelor party thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Well,
but yeah,
he
they,
did-
they record all 3 of them in the same day. I don't know what the fuck.
yeah, it's what they did when I was in Pittsburgh too. I'm jealous because that means he was there for the return of Kenny Omega.
Oh, I guess so. I didn't ask because I don't. He doesn't watch wrestling, and I don't really watch it either. So
Kenny
he was just there
Omega is
for
the
a
goat.
catch thing.
The
He still
modern
enjoyed
day
it.
goat.
And did you not hear that who I saw?
Who did you see?
I got to see Conan O'Brien.
Nice.
Surprisingly, he just popped in Charlotte, North Carolina.
He's a
for
tall
nothing.
dude. Probably made you look short.
He didn't look that tall. Who's on stage with Scott Aukerman, so he didn't look that tall. I guess because Scott Aukerman's also kind of tall too. So apparently we're the same height. So I don't fucking know.
And I guess the other major thing I've been getting into that I'll talk about on here at least is I had some Best Buy points that were expiring, so I used them to buy a game, and I wish I kind of hadn't now. But I love the old Saints Row games, Saints Row 3 and 4 and Saints Row 2. Really enjoy those. The new Saints Row game sucks. If you went in expecting like the crazy, wacky antics that you got in the later Saints Row games, no, there's some funny, weird moments, but they basically just went back to the original roots, which is it's a GTA knockoff that doesn't do anything different than GTA. And it's not really that fun. I'm kind of bummed that I bought
isn't
it.
This the new game that they're expressly promoting as if it is a wild and crazy, weird...
There's some weird stuff in it, but it's nowhere near the same level of weirdness you'd get in Saints Row 3 and 4, where like you could go and carry around a giant dildo and beat people with it and stuff like that.
The purple penetrator.
Yeah. There was a weapon you'd get in Saints Row 4 that was the alien probe gun, where you could shoot probes at people and stuff like that.
Don't forget the dubstep gun.
The dubstep gun. Like what
Just
made
fire
this
out dubstep.
What made the Saints Row games fun to me is they're like, yeah, we know everyone does sandbox games. Nobody takes it to the weird level that we take it. And that's what was fun for me. And this just feels like a GTA ripoff. It's okay, but it's not what Saints Row was. Like, I'll finish it, I'm sure, at some point, but I've played about 3 hours of it. And I'm going, this is GTA that has some weird, funny moments tossed in.
I do want to say one thing positive about it. Is that's all right for you, Chris?
Yeah, go ahead. It's not a bad game. It's just not what I wanted. Let's put it that way.
The character creator looks fucking amazing. I've seen some nice ass shit people made.
And they did do something really cool.
I will give them that.
Was like 3 months ago, I think it was, they put out what they called was their boss creator. That was put out on all the consoles and for PC.
Character creator,
where you could basically create your character, any version of them you wanted ahead of time.
Yeah.
So that as soon as you started the game, you'd be like, okay, select the character I created. Boop, here it is. We're good to go. That's cool. And so there's been a lot of people who've done some really cool boss characters and put them online. And that's fine. And that looks really cool. But this just, I was expecting something different than what it was. And maybe it's that disappointment that colors my opinion. And it feels, like I said, just like another version of GTA games, like another open sandbox game. Doesn't have like the same fun, weird missions we had and stuff in the past with the Saints Row games. And I don't think that the side characters are as interesting as the side characters we had before. Maybe it's because I've only played 3.5 hours or so and haven't gotten a chance to meet them. And the biggest egregious thing, there's no Keith fucking David in this game.
Those bastards.
Burn the studio. Burn it to the ground.
For those that aren't aware, Keith David plays himself in Saints Row 4 and is the vice president of the United States. To your character's president.
And he just sits there right as you just kick someone right square in the nuts and, yes.
It's brilliant. So,
all right, take it from someone who's played none of the first or second one, beat the third one, and a little bit of the fourth one now. What makes Saints Row a great game is they took GTA. They took the weapons from Ratchet and Clank. And then they took over-the-top zany wrestling moves, and they topped it all off with adult fucking humor and immature adult humor. And they wrapped it all up, and they punched it right in the nuts, and they put it out in the world.
Hell, they even had Roddy Piper in one of the games, too.
Oh, yeah,
nice.
I do believe they did that. Yeah, because I remember running them to them.
That was Saints Row 4. And Saints Row 4 is fun because... like, the game starts off with, like, the typical kind of action you would expect.
Way it comes out. I've told you about this. It's the best video game intro ever.
It's really great. And then in the end, you get put...
The song as you're climbing. That's what I was like, I love this.
If you get a chance to play it, it's dirt cheap because it's an old game at this point in time. But Saints Row 4 is delightful. And basically what happens is you get put into the Matrix and you get superpowers. So, like, when you get to the end of the game, you've got telekinesis, you can throw fireballs, you can jump super high, you have flashes super speed, and it's just tons of fun to go around using your superpowers.
the one thing I feel bad for the person whoever had to fucking code in like how cars are driven.
Yeah.
Or because then no one's gonna get in a fucking car, but I can just fly around.
I think they imported it from the previous game, so it probably was not a bunch of lost time.
It's like,
but regardless, Saints Row 4 is still one of my favorite games just because of how dumb and insane it is. But Saints Row 3 is also really fun and slightly grounded, I guess, when you compare it to Saints Row 4, because it actually takes place in a world where you don't have superpowers.
I mean, yeah. And then what then they just snapped it right back to Saints Row 1.
Well, they did the Get Out of Hell spin-off too, which was okay.
Well, I mean, yeah, but that's a spin-off. That's for like DLC side story shit. It was like the Miles Morales to it, but lesser than. Well, not lesser, but like not as much in depth as that. It was like a little DLC that they gave as like part of the season pass, I think.
Yeah. So what I think the biggest problem was is that this just didn't. If you were a fan of these Saints Row games, this is more faithful to say Saints Row 1 and 2 than the Saints Row 3 and 4 stuff we got, where it's a more grounded GTA-like game. And there's plenty of other sandbox games like that. That's not why I picked up. There's some funny moments. I've had literal lolling moments where I've laughed out loud, but it's not the same. And I'm just kind of bummed. And if I hadn't paid, I paid $30 for it because I had $30 worth of Best Buy rewards that were expiring. So I guess for $30 I feel okay with it. But had I spent $60, yeah, I don't think so. I would have been kind of disappointed. It's one of those ones when it drops down to like $20-$30. Give it a try if you want.
Oh, I'd say don't even play it now at this point.
Yeah, at this point, don't do it now. There's some weird glitches and stuff in there too. They effed up. They should have leaned into the craziness. That's what it comes down to. I
remember when the first trailer came out, I was like, what is this? Like, I don't understand what this is. Is this a remake of the first game? It just wasn't clear. And that's a red flag when you're looking at a trailer like, I don't know what this is.
This doesn't take place in their knockoff of California. You're like in the desert in Arizona.
So it doesn't even take place. What was the name of the city? I can't remember it.
Freeport? Was that what it was or something like that?
I think so. Was that the
Steelport
city? Steelport. That was it. Yep. That unlocked a memory.
So
Steelport.
Yeah, this takes place
in California.
Or wherever it's supposed to be. This takes place in Arizona, so you've got some places that are city, and then you've got like wide open desert and stuff like that, which is cool because you can get like dune buggies and drive through it. But I don't know, and I need to figure out how you actually unlock quick travel because like it's all about this quick game. If you're supposed to take pictures of things to do it, so I went and took the picture of what's supposed to be the quick travel thing, and it didn't work. So that's the other annoying thing is I have to drive from one end of the map to the other, and none of the quick travel sites that I thought I'd unlocked were unlocked. Annoying.
Okay, that sucks.
Maybe it's just a glitch. I don't know. It's not bad. It's just disappointing because I had different expectations, I guess is the best way of putting it.
It's fair.
Lowered expectations. What was that from Mad TV?
Oh, that is Mad TV. Lowered expectations.
Bachman, what you been getting into?
See, we finished our watch through of the rise and fall of Shiv Palpatine last night. We've been watching just all the Star Wars movies back to back. We finally watched Rise of Skywalker. So we've now actually sat and just watched them all, which is kind of nice. Like, starting all the way back with Phantom Menace and stuff. And it's been a while since I've actually sat and just watched the Star Wars films. So it was cool now to watch all of them because now all 9 are done.
It's a shame the Rise of Skywalker is pure trash.
I like that movie. Ugh. That's got my favorite Star Wars character in it. So,
God, I'm checking out.
Took me 9 films and like 9 other TV shows and stuff to find my favorite Star Wars character, and now I have him, and I know who he is, and I love him, and kiss my ass.
Doesn't make the movie
Babu Freak's
good.
The best.
That's a he?
Yeah.
Fair enough.
He's right here.
Please don't. No. God damn, why'd I say shit?
Yeah.
Why'd I say anything? Why the fuck did I say anything?
I don't know.
Well, don't worry, Willie. Now they're putting him in The Mandalorian, too.
I was getting Babu Freak mixed up with the whoever was running that thing on the Mandalorian planet or whatever the fuck it was that they go to. The one who had the lightsaber in their back of her bar or whatever the fuck it was.
Oh, Maz Kanata?
Yeah, that. I was getting that confused.
The chick with the butthole eyes and the big little magnifying glasses.
Yeah.
No, Babu's the one that unlocks C-3PO's head.
Yeah,
The
I
droid
thought they were one and the same. I was getting mixed up. Yeah.
Babu's the
So
one
they
that
switched back,
undoes
yeah.
another consequence in the movie that doesn't stick.
Yeah.
Which was?
C-3PO having his memory wiped and effectively dying after he has a touching farewell to his friends.
Oh, I don't even remember
And then
that.
R2 gives him his memories back. Yeah.
Wait, you guys just fucking with me? That wasn't in the movie.
No, it was in the movie.
Yeah, it was.
I don't remember that at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I only saw
only
each of them one time, so.
Me too.
The only way to find the location is to read the blade. The blade is written in Sith runes. So C-3PO reads it and then can't tell them anything because his programming does not allow him to translate Sith because it's an outlawed language. And Poe Dameron's like, really? The one time we want you to talk and you can't?
Wait. He can read it. He just can't tell you what it says.
Exactly.
Yes.
He can't. He's not allowed to translate it because of his programming. And so the only way they can get him to translate it is that they memory reset him, which is what Babu Freak does. He basically goes into his processor in C-3PO's head, turns him off and turns him back on, and then he translates what was written on the dagger.
That dagger that miraculously lined up with the crashed Death Star throne room on a ocean planet. Yeah.
Not for plot point, but just thinking, like, if they didn't want him to translate it, just don't program it in him to be able to read it.
Vader's a jackass. I mean, Vader created him.
But is he the one who put all those programs in him, though? It's not like he created them and just left them. Like, that shouldn't even been a thing.
Somebody
That was
wrote all that
stupid,
code.
right?
Yeah, where's the part where Anakin's sitting there writing all this programming code that goes into C-3PO's head? Where's those scenes?
Like, that's stupid, right? That he created C-3PO. That's stupid, right?
Well, I mean, he built him. It doesn't necessarily mean you couldn't get open source software off the HoloNet to put on him. That's protocol droid stuff.
That's a stupid plot point that Anakin Skywalker actually created. See,
yeah, he randomly built a droid when he was a slave that had no rights or money and spent.
And it looked like he was 5 years old too,
and spent all of his time trying to build a pod racer. But in his spare time, not building a pod racer,
spare time,
he also randomly built the droid that's going to be in every movie.
Oh,
yeah,
it's
it was
almost like
weird.
a force-powered person's a Gary Stu in the Star Wars universe. Who'd have
almost. Almost,
thunk
a character that was immaculately concepted by the Force.
You know what? Fuck you. Mary Sue is genderless. We'll use it for everybody. Fuck it. I don't give a shit. Everyone can be Mary Sue. You know what it means. It doesn't fucking matter if it's gender.
Luke Skywalker's a Gary Stu / Mary Sue also.
Goddamn right. I just fucking admit it too.
But yeah, so we watched that last night. So that was
just a cunt.
And then we also did Family Drawdown again. I did a sketch of Kyle from Animal Crossing. I'd never drawn that character before. Then let's see, Jana drew Winnie the Pooh, which was fantastic. And then Fashion drew.
Is it Winnie the Pooh inspired by the Disney version or the upcoming horror movie that's coming out?
The Disney version,
Okay.
and they actually nailed the smile. It looks like an animated Disney drawing. It was really cool because getting something stylized in animation form is really tough. So yeah, it looked really good. And then Fashion did what's the kid's name from Kingdom Hearts? I always want to think it's a girl. Sora. Yeah, so she did a Sora character sketch, like the torso up with the big keyblade, which is badass. And then we all did a third round or a second round, and then we all were kind of tired. So Jana got Mewtwo and drew that one really well. Got hers done really quick. I had the female cop from Arcane, whose name I can't remember now, Caitlin, I think. And I got the pencil sketch done, but then was too tired to ink it. And then Fashion got Spider-Man, and so she decided that her interpretation was she was going to then draw Spider, the robot that Penny uses from Edge of the Spider-Verse. But yeah, so we did Family Drawdown. It was fun. And then I finally went through and pulled out a bunch of all the artwork and stuff that I've had in the garage while I was doing garage cleanup stuff, and pulled out all my comic book pages, went through all that stuff, and finally actually grabbed some of my frames and started framing some of the stuff that I've had sitting around for a while. So now I got some more stuff to hang up in the office. So I've got my Beastman by Super Ugly. Where's my camera at?
Fair enough.
Which just one of my favorite little prints. Yeah, he did Beastman, just looking badass. And then I finally framed my signed photo from Mr. Ghostface himself, Roger Jackson. I met him in Lexington Comic and Toy Convention.
The creator of the mask?
No, the guy who did
Oh.
the voice on the phone. And yeah, it says, to Anthony, I'll be watching you, Roger Jackson.
Wait,
Who,
they
yeah,
didn't just have people use a little voice box changer? I'm kidding.
Nope, it was actually him on the phone calling people on set. So the phones they were using actually worked.
Really?
So when they were actually talking to people on set, they were talking to Roger Jackson, who was in a trailer, and he was doing his lines over the phone.
Yeah, a dumb joke actually leads to a fun fact. Yay.
Yeah. And yeah, and the guy's great too. I met him at Lexington Comic and Toy Convention and sat there and probably spent 20 minutes talking with him. And the people that would come up to meet him were very diversified because he was the voice of Ghostface and also Mojo Jojo from Powerpuff Girls.
Jojo.
Yeah. So you'd have like, a bunch of people like me, like 30, 40-year-old horror fans coming up like, oh, dude, you're Ghostface. That's so awesome. And then like a 6-year-old would come up like, you're Mojo Jojo. And they would freak out. It was kind of cool. Like, seeing his diverse fan base coming up to him at the con.
That's cool.
And then I also
with Mojo Jojo.
I had a picture that I haven't framed for a while, and I've been waiting to get it done, and now I can't wait to put it up because I got a photo of me and the man. And you just can't beat, I got to meet Stan Lee when he was about 92, I believe, at Salt Lake Comic and Toy Convention, or Salt Lake Comic Con. And so, yeah, I spent like $200 to stand next to Stan Lee for like 10 seconds.
I have a question now. I've always been wondering this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not trying to badmouth Stanley. I've just got to. He looks like he has a smell about him, like heavy cologne or something, like maybe cigar. I don't know, but did he have a scent?
No, it's like baby powder.
Oh, so baby powder's a scent? Yeah.
Yeah. No, I
Period,
remember. Yeah. He smelled like. Yeah, he didn't have like. I mean, to be fair, you think about it, people have like there's that old person smell. He didn't.
Yeah.
He smelled like baby powder.
I mean, I was gonna say, like, how some old people kind of look like they have a smell, not necessarily like old person smell. They just look like they have a aura of scent around them of something. You just look at it, you can just see it. Stanley always looks like he has he looks like he wears heavy cologne at all times.
No,
That's all.
I mean, he might when he goes out. I don't think he did on convention days because
That's fair.
I definitely know that there was no like heavy cologne smell. And I mean, it was at a convention. Like there's smells. Like dear
Nothing
God,
that
there's
I
smells.
know. It's just guesstimation. It looks like it. That's all.
No, I remember. Yeah, he smelled like baby powder.
Fair
Yeah,
enough.
so yeah, got those framed, and then just getting some more stuff done around the house. Finally, getting some more things put up on my walls here. Something you can see, something you can't. And then playing Uncharted, which I'm now almost done with the first one. But yeah,
Get
I've
through
just
it,
been.
man.
I'm on it because at this point I'm pretty much done playing Dead by Daylight. So whenever I feel like playing a game now, it's going to be either Outriders or Uncharted for the moment. Yeah, Outriders has had enough patches to where it's actually kind of fun again. So yeah, it's one of they're not quite No Man's Sky. They didn't fix all their problems, but it's another one of those games where it's like, hey, 8 months after our game came out, we finally made it what we told you it was going to be when it launched. And so, yeah, they made a bunch of huge changes to it, and the game is actually freaking fun now. And using some of the powers of the earthquake guy that I got is actually pretty cool. Like running, jumping, and like slamming people with the earthquake attacks. It's pretty fun. And yeah, Jana's actually been playing it with me a little bit. She sometimes still gets the motion sickness from the first-person shooter, so it's tough. But we killed a giant volcano spider together that was pretty cool. It was kind of a boss fight sequence that was done really well. But yeah, it's had enough updates. It's almost a fun game. And then we're looking forward to what was the one we saw? First Descendant. We were watching the preview of that, which looks like if Anthem and Outriders had a baby that stole its armor from Destiny 2, and it's supposedly going to be a new free-to-play shooter where it's shooters, it's powered up armor suits, and it's earth power or like different elemental base powers like. They're showing people with fire, poison, earthquake, ice, and then there's like grappling hooks for traveling around instead of the ability to fly. But yeah, it's one of those ones that's like, oh, is this going to be the next Anthem or the next Outriders, or is this going to be good? And so it looks awesome, but it's also at least it's going to be free to play, so I won't be dropping $120 on it to get us both copies of the game when it comes out. We'll just download it and try it to see if it actually is fun from the get-go. Unlike Outriders or unlike Anthem, where it took 8 months before the game was playable. But yeah, I don't know. They put out that new Willie's going to hate this, so all I'm going to do is complain about. But yeah, Behavior put out the new DLC for the second round of Resident Evil characters that have been added to Dead by Daylight. And at this point, as far as I can tell, all they've done is influence a bunch of people who only solely played solo games. They're, tons of people that grew up playing all the Resident Evils where you play by yourself. And then those people are now playing Dead by Daylight as if it's a solo game and just ignoring their teammates in what is team play. Where if you're routinely getting on a hook the first time and you die on that first hook because no one in your queue is coming to save you, it's kind of shitty. And I think, honestly, it's the influence from what I'm seeing of all the Resident Evil players that grew up playing solo games. Since this second launch, and since the first, adding of Nemesis, the random players in my queues have progressively gotten worse. I've seen Jana die so many times on her first hook where none of the 3 survivors in the game even bother going to try and save her character. It's just ridiculous. And Behavior's not doing anything to... I mean, they added even a 10-second borrowed time to the base kit, and it still doesn't stop killers from basically face camping and then tunneling one person until they're dead. And so there's no counter to just awful killers that don't want to make the game fun for people. And then I tried playing Killer the other day on her account where nobody plays Killer. She has no stats on her killers, and just it was impossible to catch people. So the delay, apparently, since whatever server we're on is going to Seattle or whatever, even though I'm on a hardwired PlayStation Pro 4, I can't get a good enough signal to actually hit people with my weapon as a killer when I'm playing Killer. It's not fun anymore. I'm done with it. It's not fun anymore. That game has had so many changes. It stopped being fun. I don't enjoy playing Survivor anymore, and I don't enjoy playing Killer. So yeah, I will be playing the rest of the Uncharted and getting through those, and probably getting through them a lot faster now because I haven't played Dead by Daylight in 3 days, and I feel better. All that game does is aggravate me. It's no damn fun. So yeah, this is the first DLC that's come out that I haven't bought. I played against Wesker on the PTB, and then played 3 matches against him the other day as a Survivor, and it's no damn fun. Everybody online saying that his hitbox is impossible to hit somebody. He glances off of survivors. I've had him grab me after I went through a window with a run that's supposed to slam him into a wall. I guess maybe just whatever server you're on if you live in Idaho goes to frickin' Vancouver or whatever it is. But yeah, I've seen shit that takes a 2-second delay happen on that game that shouldn't be possible. And so it's just no damn fun to play. Yeah, I got my list of 9. I have 3 trilogies right now that I'm working on. So I'm gonna get through Uncharted, then I'm gonna play BioShock, then I'm gonna play freaking Mass Effect.
Is it a trilogy?
Well, I have I think 3 in the Uncharted series that are on the remastered.
Oh well, yeah, but it's technically a quadrilogy.
Oh, is it? I have the ones that were free on PlayStation. So
well, they did make the 4th one free for PS Plus at some point in time.
Okay, I might have it then.
Yeah, as long as you kept getting the things without downloading them or anything, as long as you add them to your library, you got them.
Okay, yeah, I should have it then. Yeah, okay. But yeah, I know in the remastered set, there's 3 of them in there. And then, yeah, there's 3 BioShocks that they give me for free. And then I actually bought the Mass Effect Legendary Edition. So yeah, I got 3 trilogies to work on, so I'm not missing out for games. So I got stuff to work on that doesn't make me as aggravated. Though, yeah, that uphill jet ski bullshit was awful.
Yeah,
it may be the worst sequence I've ever played in a video game, just for the physics of it. But
yeah, on the Uncharted
the puzzle
Reddit
solving stuff has been really fun.
Oh yeah, on the Uncharted Reddit thing, that's a meme where everyone says replaying through the series, worst part jet ski.
Yeah, that I can.
So that's one thing everyone agrees with. So
that sequence is god. I started playing it. I'm like, really? I'm supposed to be driving uphill. You're literally driving a jet ski uphill up a river. And you have to shoot barrels because if you touch them, you die. But if you hit the aim button to bring up the character with the gun so she can shoot the barrels, your jet ski's motor dies. And so the fact that you can't do both at the same time, and the game is basically set up to where it's you should be doing both things at the same time. You should be driving and shooting. and you can't is utterly ridiculous.
I don't even remember it. It's been so long since I played
the rest of it has been super fun. And like the puzzle solving, the gunfights are not too bad. Some of them are a little ridiculous about the way like characters just keep coming out at you. It's like, oh, okay, next wave of 5 guys, next wave of 5 guys. It's like, this random group of, like terrorists in the jungle. There seems to be about 500 of them I've killed so far. So like this dude has a large army that I'm just, mowing my way through with a 9mm pistol. It's so freaking ridiculous how many people I've killed at this point in the game. But yeah, the puzzle solving has been fun. And I'm looking forward to the second one. So it's going to be fun to get through that and then move on to the next thing. And then, we've been catching up on the shows. Like I said, we watched the Game of Thrones ones, watched the Lord of the Rings. We're both definitely enjoying Game of Thrones more than Lord of the Rings. The storytelling is just better. And so, it seems like they have a much better idea of where they're going and the pace of the show's faster. Where Lord of the Rings looks really pretty, but 2 episodes in, I'm like, it doesn't feel like anything's happened. They've told story, but it just, I don't know, it's weird. It weirdly doesn't feel like anything's happened. And then, what was the other one? We got like 4 episodes into Paper Girls. So we got to the point where they've introduced the giant mech in the show. And so that one is a super weird one. And it's Brian K. Vaughan messing with time travel. And so like having one of the characters like meet her younger brother, who's now grown up and is a doctor, and like finding out like what happened to her in his world and his timeline. Really fun storytelling, really interesting show. And like we're enjoying the hell out of that one. And then, I've been watching. Oh, and I finally finished The Sopranos. So got through all 7 seasons, 6B, whatever. There's 7 freaking seasons of that show. And I will say that not only was it great storytelling and amazing acting, I really liked it. I watched the Many Saints of Newark, the movie they made, which is like the prequel of Tony Soprano. It was kind of cool to see James Gandolfini's son play the young Tony Soprano as a teenager. So that part was cool. But the movie itself was just kind of like, oh, here's a random missed episode of a flashback of the show. But it didn't really like tell you anything you really needed to know about the Sopranos. So the show itself was just, the movie was kind of weird. The show was really good, but I have to say I was really happy I started watching Parks and Rec. I'd never seen that show all the way through. And so I'm like partway through like season 4, and I've been watching that during my time off on work. Like when I go on my 15-minute breaks, I'll go watch like half an episode of that. Cutting The Sopranos with Parks and Rec makes it easier to go through like seasons of The Sopranos, which is just a dark-ass depressing show. It's really good, but those first 3 seasons, I was watching all of that just by itself, and it's like, this is really freaking depressing. And a lot of it is you're dealing with characters that are dealing with depression on the show, and so it just feels really depressing. Great show, great writing, amazing acting, kind of depressing. You intersperse that a little Parks and Rec, makes it a hell of a lot more palatable. And so, I know now that like anytime I'm going to watch a show that's like really dark or really heavy, I got to mix a comedy in there. And so it'll either be like Parks and Rec or The League. You got to mix something else in. But 4 seasons of Parks and Rec, and now having watched almost every episode of that show, I just love Ron Swanson even more. Like you can't beat that character. It's one of the greatest characters ever put on TV, and he's hilarious. So I've been enjoying the hell out of that. And I'll be sad once. Because, with my work schedule, it's nice having that to watch for, like, lunch and my breaks. But I'm going to be sad when I finish Parks and Rec because I'm not sure what I'm going to watch after that. That's what I've been getting into.
And big thanks in the chat to Verbrilli. I apologize if I said your name wrong. Saying hi from Sweden.
Nice. What's up, Verbrilli? Is it Verbrilli? Yeah, looks like Verbrilli.
I think so. Well, Willie, why don't you
From
finish things
Sweden.
off for us?
Awesome.
What you been getting into, sir?
Well, what I've been getting to is definitely my anticipation for Killer Clowns is still there. I cannot wait. But I've been also doing Yakuza 3, still going through that. And last night I was going through the PlayStation Plus catalog for their like mid and plus or premium, whatever. I was like, well, let me see what's on here. What do I want to play? I've already played a lot of great games on it. Like, finally got to try Guardians of the Galaxy through it, and I tried Little Big Workshop, which is fun. Now I'm onto a game that I wanted to try a little bit of because it looks like a little small game. It's called Kingdom 2 Crowns. It's just you're building up your kingdom, but it's like a side-scrolling thing, so it's all flat. The pixel art, fucking gorgeous. Because like the lower like little like not quarter, but like eighth of the screen is like a reflection in the water at all times. Like you're always beside the water as your horse is just going through. It's just always a reflection of everything. It looks so gorgeous. They did a good job with that. But yeah, it's just you're going side to side, getting money from things you're doing. You're growing your thing further, and you're killing these portals that send things out to attack you from either side. Like I said, it's 2D, so it's just always flat. And you can go to multiple different islands. I haven't gone to the third one yet, but trust me, this is all weird. Look it up, because I wouldn't know how anyone could describe this game without just saying, just look at it. You'll get it when you look at it. But yeah, Kingdom Two Crowns? Yeah, Kingdom Two Crowns. And I just started trying it. I also downloaded, and I'm sorry, but I downloaded it with full intent to try it. Might be tonight. Lawnmower Simulator.
What simulator?
Lawnmower Simulator.
Lawnmower Simulator.
You did not just say Chores, the video game.
I didn't play it yet. Just downloaded it.
Really? I'm not gonna judge you. I downloaded the Power Washer Simulator on Xbox.
Well, that's a little different. Well, that's on Xbox. God damn it.
Yeah. It's Game Pass.
It's Game Pass.
It's Game Pass.
It's fucking Game Pass.
Pretty damn ridiculous. Y'all are downloading Chores. Y'all are downloading Chores.
All right.
Just think about that.
Chris,
Just think about that.
I get it with the Lawnmower Simulator. I get that. But this motherfucker, this motherfucker with Power Wash Simulator, how is that not one of the greatest goddamn
It's
ideas
awesome.
anyone's ever? I know.
It's so relaxing.
It's oddly
Amazing.
satisfying. Is it oddly
Amazing.
satisfying?
Yes, it is. The whole thing is just oddly satisfying and relaxing as you get the stuff figured out. You're like,
Ugh.
this is
Yeah,
great.
when you finally finish it, you're not spraying water. You're spraying something else. Yeah, it feels so good.
I was hoping you were going to say you downloaded Cult of the Lamb because I want to play that, but I'm not sure I want to pay $25 for it.
I do. I mean, some parts of it does interest me, but I'm not into like the twin stick kind of Binding of
That's fair.
Isaac type of gameplay, because that's what it is. I was interested, like the Raising the Cult thing. Like I found out. I think I said it last week. I found out I really like management games. Like if I was just running a cult without doing all the fighting bullshit, yeah, you got me. I'll
Willie's
fucking
just
raid
here
the
to
best
run your
cult.
Colts.
They call me Jim Jones, bitch. Remember, it was Flavor Aid, not actual Kool-Aid. Flavor Aid kind of got a good pass there, even though it didn't really help him in business.
It didn't hurt Kool-Aid.
I was about to say, yeah. I mean, if anything would have, should have, but it didn't. No one gave a fuck.
Yeah, who was Kool-Aid's PR guy at that time that didn't
I
get
got
the
this.
company
I
destroyed?
got this.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Whatever they decided to do, it worked because
He busted in the wall and said, "Shut up, bitch."
yeah, that really should have destroyed Kool-Aid.
How does that glass break through brick? The Kool-Aid Man, when he busts through brick walls, he's made of glass.
He's made out of
The sheer momentum of
just
the
crisp.
fluid.
no, it's not glass. It's the same. It's Pyrex. It's the same material.
Pyrex?
Yeah, from like those transparent glass like cooking dishes and stuff like that. He's made
Are
out
you
of
telling me
Pyrex.
you can't smash a Pyrex dish through a brick wall? Like it won't just.
Oh, I'm sure you
just
can.
Go.
But there's also
I've
the power of plot.
All right.
No.
little story.
Scotty came back from the future and made it see-through aluminum.
Yeah.
All right, a little bit of story here. So I was using a Pyrex dish and I was cooking. I forget what I was cooking. Something. And I had to cook something on the stovetop, and I was getting the oven preheated, so I had the Pyrex dish on the stovetop, getting ready to put stuff in it. I forget what I was making. I can't even remember. And then I had a pot on the stove to cook something that was going to go in the Pyrex dish. I had the wrong burner on.
Oh no.
Oh,
It was
that'll
the
do
one
it.
underneath the Pyrex dish. And
Yikes.
luckily, there's no burn marks on my hands because I didn't grab it. What happened was it exploded.
Oh shit!
I was standing 3 feet from it. I'm surprised I didn't have any shards of glass that went inside me. Like I was like, what the fuck was that? Holy shit. And I had to quickly, I had to realize quickly what happened, and then quickly I almost grabbed him bare hand. No, I got like a fucking oven mitt right quick and grabbed like some of the pieces off the fucking wooden floor.
Yeah.
Or probably wood laminate flooring, to be honest. And just so it wouldn't burn that, because this is a rental. Because I was like, oh shit, I can't grab my bare hand. That's bad, because I know this thing's burning fucking hot. Because smoke's coming up.
Yikes.
Oh yeah, so that's a fun little side story for you. Make sure if you're make sure you always turn on the right burner when you're cooking.
The correct burner. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, that's what I said, right? The right burner, the correct shit.
You know why you're not right, Willie? Because you're left. You're always wrong.
That's the stupid.
Oh, I forgot the other thing I've been getting into. There's a Star Wars card trader game.
I've played that off and on.
Wasting so much time with that. Yeah, I've been trading a little bit. Yeah, it's Kitra and Peter Scarelli, the guy that writes Slash Film, the two that do Ordinary Adventures, which is probably my and Jana's favorite YouTube channel to watch because they just go do all the things that we like doing as well, and so getting ideas on like what to do on the Disney Wish on cruise lines and stuff, and then which places we want to go to for Disneyland, Universal Parks, all that stuff. But yeah, they got sponsored by it, and they were actually showing the trading card game, so you can follow people on there. But yeah, it's just a fun, dumb way to learn the names of like side characters that you never would have known. The people that are on screen for 1 second in the background of something in Star Wars, and they have a trading card. So more geeky information to stick in my head that I don't need.
Hey, you know what my favorite genre of music is?
K-pop.
Nope.
It's jizz. From Star Wars. Jizz.
Well, the instrument's the jizz whaler, I think is what it's called. But
oh no, the genre is also called jizz.
Is it? Interesting.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
Yeah, what Max Rebo band? Is that what's called? Did I get it right?
And there's Figure on Dawn
right.
and the modal nodes also.
Yeah, I think the Max Rebo band, I'm pretty sure that's right. The one that is in the cantina.
Max Rebo and Droopy McCool.
Yeah. They're jizz players. They played the jizz. The genre.
Galactic Jazz is jizz. All right.
Hey, don't blame me. Like, jizz has been used as a word for that for a long time. Before Star Wars, right?
Probably. I don't know.
I don't know.
It's not a new thing. So George, I was about to say George Clooney.
George Clooney?
George Lucas. He knew what the fuck he was doing with that, right?
I don't know.
All right, fine. This is a deadpan joke that no one's going with, so let's just end it. I'm done. In the fucking show.
All right.
Chris.
Well, Willie's done.
Willie's done.
On that note, we will remind folks, we do stream this show right now live every Sunday at 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central over at www.geeks.live. You can also use nerds.live as it redirects to the same place. But what was I going to say? Stay tuned over on GonnaGeek.com. We've got some new shows that have joined the network. One was officially announced. There is another one coming. So there are some additional programs coming to the network, and you can find out more about them, like I said, on GonnaGeek.com, or go to GonnaGeek.com/Discord and join our Discord, or you can talk on our channel and a variety of other channels that are part of the network, and you can learn more about these shows that have now joined the network. Willie, you look like you're in deep thought.
You're not going to tell us what the non-surprise one is?
Not on the air. It's not my place to mention it until it's officially announced.
Oh, I thought you said one was officially announced.
One was officially announced.
Well, what was that one?
Well, I want to send people to GonnaGeek.com to see the announcement.
Damn it! You got to go.
Then you go look it up, man.
People, go to the website and find out, because
you know what a promotion is?
Me. I'm not going to go to the website. I want you to go to the website and tell me what it is. not Chris. The viewers. I want you to tell me. And go ahead.
Right.
Tell me on Twitter at South Porky.
Willie wants to do literally no work. Please do his work for him.
I have to do work. I have to hit this touchpad sensor in the back, and I have to go like, notification. I got to scroll down, hit the notification. Like, that's what they said.
Everyone send notifications to Willie that's just random animated GIFs right now, please. Random GIFs. You can hashtag it random GIF if you want.
This is why I don't mind if the world blows up.
Before we shut this thing down for the week and head on out, you guys have any final thoughts you want to share with the people?
Killer clowns. What could you ask for more?
Okay, there's that.
Scott Aukerman is 6'2.5".
All right.
So
And then-
almost as tall as Conan.
6'4", right?
Yeah.
I think
That's
I'm
why he
around
didn't
6'4".
look. That's why he didn't look super short, or
Yeah, I
he didn't
know.
look super tall. He's standing next to someone almost as tall.
That's exactly what I said, though.
And
Eh?
for anyone who follows me on Twitter tonight, please feel free to mute me or mute the hashtag that I end up using to live tweet watching
All out.
4 hours of pro wrestling tonight.
Are you going to drop the F-bomb? And I'm not talking about fuck.
What?
Chris. He's thinking.
I don't
He's
even
really
want to
thinking.
know where he's going with this. I just meant it more
Yeah.
innocently because some people
Oh.
don't care for wrestling and may not want to watch me drop 100 plus tweets about a live pay-per-view talking about wrestling as I freak out about stuff. That's all. So that's what the mute button's for. That's all I
Like
meant.
True.
This right here.
Willie just proved what it's for. But on that note, thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. Thank you so much for putting up with my health, putting off the podcast for a little bit, and we will see you all next week for more of our typical horse shit shenanigans. Thanks for listening to this brand new episode of the All Things Good and Nerdy podcast. Don't forget, we'll be back next Sunday live at 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central over at live.atgnpodcast.com, channel 3 of the Awful Geek Radio app, and over at our network home at gonnageek.com/live. If you have any feedback for the show, please contact us atgnpodcast@gonnageek.com, on our hotline number at 304-806-ATGN, or even better, go to Twitter and send us a message at ATGN Podcast. The music you've heard in this show is produced by Kevin MacLeod and can be found at incompetech.com.